Ava Schwartz, everybody. Clap your hands for her.
So I got in today at 1 a.m. from Texas. And we were flying out of Austin, and there was a beautiful thing that happened. My husband got picked for extra security. And it was interesting. They did the full thing. I did tell them that he's hiding drugs in his tank. So they really checked. You know, they put the number, they said, we're going to go up in the hands until we feel resistance. He's like, they went past resistance. And you know what I was thinking about this? This is a beautiful moment of racial equality. A white man with a Jewish name got picked for being a terrorist. So he wasn't as happy with it. Also, my child, the trip, I could feel my dream of having a third child just slip away every moment we traveled with our two kids. Everyone's like, they're very cute, and they are. They're just screaming at the top of their lungs. And it's like, which one am I going to get rid of? And the answer is very simply the 3-year-old. Because the 8-year-old will be like, I was an only child for 5 years, I can do this. The 3-year-old, if you take his brother away, even though they fight, he's like, no, I need my brother. I love him. And the other thing that gets me is there's been a bunch of stories about daycare workers getting arrested for giving all of their kids that melatonin so that the kids sleep. And then the daycare worker goes out and gets her nails done or the gym. And I wonder, how the fuck do you get that shit to work? Because I've tried it on my own child. He runs nonstop at 3 a.m. Just run back and forth as fast as he can. All fucking night. And you know, by 4 o'clock in the morning, I will give him anything. It's like, you know what, I think you're getting a little cold. We need to give some Benadryl. Nothing works. You cannot drug that child. Do you know what happened? So, that's been the fun of Texas. Oh, also I learned I look like a psychopath when I'm up here. I didn't see myself. I did a stand-up in Austin, and they took a picture, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, let's see. Hey, I've been on meds and I've been stable for over 5 years. Even California took me to get it done. You know? Yes, I'm proud. Texas would have given it to me the minute they would have probably given it to me anyway. You know, like, why do you want to keep a gun away from someone in active psychosis? See what can happen. You know, it might be fun. Nobody's ever tried it. Texas was NRA's like, do not take their Second Amendment right. We have bars on the wall, but you know what? They can break through. Bars on the window. So, yes. Also, I've been thinking about this. Like, I did do this. You know, I'm half black and half white. Yeah. And my grandma wrote a book about being a black middle class mom raising her kids in Sacramento. This beautiful story. And Grandpa was like, he did well in the 1950s as a black man. He traveled the country for the military, selling weapons of mass destruction to Iran and Iraq. This is the beautiful things he did. But like, they're like, oh, he was successful in the 50s and 60s. And you know what I really want to talk about then? Is that he was sort of like the Jackie Robinson of white pussy. He risked his life to fuck every single white woman on the road. My grandmother did not appreciate this. I'm wondering when we are going, I put my genes in 23andMe, and I will not be surprised if some random kid comes in and it's like, oh, you're related. I'm like, yeah. My mother would be like, oh, disrespected my mother. It's like, we all knew Grandpa was doing this. Grandpa was very proud of it, and he was not very, yeah, I knew at 3, so. Like, everybody knew, and then what was beautiful is that the next generation continued to do this. We all knew. But I also think of when my grandma wrote her book, she said, you know what? Like her thing, well, she'd be like, I just wanted white people to know my kids are just as precious and just as fragile as theirs, and please be nice to them. And now it's been like, they did not need to be that fucking nice. Look at us. Now, all the grandkids look like me. There are a lot of white people. And you know what? We burn in the fucking shade. We have no rhythm. Our asses are gone. This was not a smart plan. But, you know, and yeah, it didn't work also in Texas, so I was just trying it. It didn't work in Texas. I was like, you've done the most racist shit, but mine didn't work. I was like, okay. But yeah, what else? Yeah. The other thing is that my kids, they start screaming at each other in the car. And it's like, fuck, you know, and then it's like, don't look at each other. And then they start screaming, I'm gonna drive, or we get mad and go, I wanna drive off a cliff. And then the two of them start chanting, drive off a cliff, drive off a cliff. Fucking hot. And it's like, honey, I really want to, but we are in West, wherever the fuck we are in Texas, it's flat as fuck. I don't think there's a cliff for another 300 miles. But if you want me to crash the car, it's 75 miles an hour, and for some reason, random cars can also pull in to the freeway. So I almost did this 4 times. Well, actually, I didn't. My husband wasn't going to let me drive because I crashed things. He let me drive a little bit out of frustration. I find it really shocking he was willing to let me drive because he's an atheist, so he doesn't pray. I'm like, you need to believe in God if you were in the car with me. No way you're gonna surprise. I do not understand how an atheist gets in the car with me. But so it's, oh yes, and it's been also, it was a beautiful trip. Beautiful trip, kids, cute pictures, all that fun stuff. Didn't get laid once. That is family trips. You get no fucking time alone. And it's just, ooh, fun with your kids. No separation. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Okay.
You want feedback at all?
Sure.
Did anyone have anything for Ava? Last?
There was something you said about after talking about the being at the airport, your husband. I don't remember how you phrased it, but you said something like he wasn't down for it. He wasn't. And I just prodded would be a good tag. Like he was prodded though, because it sounded like poking.
Yeah, it sounded like poking. Yeah, they put the hands up.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I should do that. I should, yeah.
It wasn't like a euphemism though, how you used it, and then I was like, oh, you can add
Yeah,
that.
prodding, yes. Okay,
was
that's
prodded.
what, he was prodded.
I think just in general, I would love to see you lean more into the times that you say the most fucked up shit. Like, there's time you say some shit that's just like out of this world. And you say it sometimes so nonchalantly, which is also funny, but like there's sometimes it was like, I feel like this was understated. Like I feel like you kind of like overstated. Then there'll be like an even larger pop. Because it was like, when you said, my dreams of having a 3rd kid over dad, I was like, fuck. Like, that was like very succinct. Because we know that you talked about this before, but without even knowing that, I know that that's a thing that you're trying to do because you said that one very funny, kind of, mildly
Yeah. I'm trying to do, yeah, my husband's heart pressure is going up. And I want to explain, because my son wants to fix it. It's like, no, your daddy's just old and everything's falling apart. That's 40.
Yeah. You might want to say that. Ava Schwartz, everybody.